Welcome everyone. This is Pratibha Sebastian Velanikaran, final year student of MA English with Communication Studies at Christ University. This video primarily aims at showing what exactly is Dada Movement. It will touch upon its origin, the development, its characteristics, the key figures of the movement, their works, and so on. To begin with, what exactly is Dada Movement? Dada was officially not a movement, its artists not artists, and its art not art. But there is of course a bit more to this simplistic explanation of Dadaism. Dada was an artistic and literary movement that started in Europe during World War I. It peaked from the year 1916 to 1922. The movement primarily involved visual arts, literature, poetry, art manifestos, art history, theatre, and graphic designs. The artists were shocked by the World War I and wanted to produce something shocking. Dada was not art. It was anti-art. For everything that art stood for, Dada was to represent the opposite. Dada had only one rule: never follow any non-rules. Now we shall look into the origin of this movement. During the World War I, many artists, intellectuals, writers, especially those from France and Germany, moved to Switzerland, which was then a neutral country. Instead of being relieved that they had escaped, they were furious with the modern society. They decided to create non-art, since art in the society they believed anyways had no meaning. So, it was around the year 1916 that some writers and artists used any public forums they could find to attack on nationalism, rationalism, and materialism, which they felt had contributed to a senseless war. The word Dada, which some say means hobby horse in French and others feels is just a baby talk. That is, it was just a catchphrase that meant least amount of sense. The movement is believed to have all began at Zurich's Cabaret Voltaire in February 1916, which was founded by a German Hugo Ball. The Dadaists published books and created paintings and sculptures, but the real spirit of Dada was in events, cabaret performances, demonstrations, declarations, confrontations, the distribution of leaflets and of small magazines and newspapers, and actions which today we would call the guerrilla theatre. Slowly, the movement spread to Zurich, from Zurich to other parts of Europe, and then to New York City. It is quite amusing to note that the interpretation of Dada is dependent entirely on the viewer. Yes, you decide its meaning. While art appealed to sensibilities, Dada offends it. Perhaps it is ironic that Dada is an influential movement in modern art. Dada became a commentary on art and the world, and thus becoming art itself. Now we shall look into three key figures of Dadaism. Hans Arp. Hans Arp was a French sculptor, painter, collagist, printmaker, and poet of German birth. He was a pioneer of abstract art and one of the founders of Dada in Zurich. The Forest in 1916 and Shirt Front and Folk in 1922 are two of his famous works. This is a famous piece called Collage with Squares, arranged according to the laws of chance, done in 1917. Basically, he just randomly arranged shapes on a piece of paper. It is made of torn and pasted paper on blue-gray paper. This is Marcel Duchamp. He was a French artist and his output influenced the development of post-World War I Western art. Duchamp challenged conventional thought through subversive actions. The most outrageous painting created by him was when he painted a mustache on a copy of Mona Lisa and scribbled obscenities under it. He also created a sculpture called Fountain, which was actually a urinal without the plumbing, and it had a fake signature. Another key figure of this movement is Man Ray. He was an American artist who spent most of his career in Paris. Best known in the art world for his avant-garde photography, Man Ray produced major works in a variety of media. He is noted for his photograms, which he renamed riographs after himself. Now to tell about the characteristics of this movement. The following slide shows the characteristics of Dada movement in very simple terms. The movement was a protest, but at the same time it managed to be enjoyable and amusing. The movement did not favor one medium over another. It used everything from glass to plaster to geometric tapestries to wooden reliefs. We shall now move on to explore the various art techniques used by the Dadaists. Collage. The Dadaists imitated the techniques developed during the Cubist movement through the pasting of cut papers of paper items, but extended their art to encompass items such as transportation tickets, maps, plastic wrappers, etc., to portray aspects of life. Assemblage is yet another technique used by the Dadaists in this regard. The assemblages were three-dimensional variations of the collage, the assembly of everyday objects to produce meaningful or meaningless pieces of work, including war objects and trash. Photomontage is also another technique used by the Dadaists. They use scissors and glue rather than paint brushes and paints to express their views of modern life through images presented by the media. Next comes the technique called ready-mades. Marcel Duchamp began to view the manufactured objects of his collection as objects of art, which he called ready-mades. He would add signatures and titles to some, converting them into artwork that he called ready-made aided or rectified ready-mades. Now we shall see how this major movement began to decline. By the dawn of World War II, many of the European Dadaists who remained had fled or had been forced into exile in the United States. Some died in death camps under Hitler, who personally disliked the kind of radical art that Dada represented. Also, while broad-reaching, the movement was unstable. The artists went on to other ideas and movements including surrealism, socialist realism, and other forms of modernism. Dada is thus the sensibility left behind after horror. Dada has given us a chance to create the marvelous. The restrictions of materials, methods, and subject matter were gone. Dadaist adventure is very close to the sensitivity of 21st century, which has been dominated by a need for systematic revolt against existing forms in politics, in literature, and in arts. Dadaism thus possesses the question whether it is art or non-art which is to be redefined. Thank you.